Yeah, so first things first, some audio issues going on at the moment. Uh, Let me tell you something. If you ever want to make videos, don't fret about the video quality. Pretty much any video camera, even a phone's going to be fine. Fret about audio quality because it's a bit of a pain. Anyway, should have solved the problems now, and yeah, let's move on. So Das Boot. Yeah, this is where we got to yesterday. We got one float all nicely modelled. You can go away. So what we're going to do today is to do half of the middle of the hull, because we'll end up just mirroring it, so we only need to do half. So what I'm going to do is, let's look at this from the inside, as it were, of the float. What I'm going to do is just change the display of that to wireframe so that it's not too much in the way. And let's have a look at the original sort of rough draft sketch we did for this center section. So you can see fairly simple shape. We're just going to sort of refine that a bit now. We'll leave the overall dimensions, certainly the part that will be submerged underneath the water, more or less the same, because that should get us within our calculated buoyancy area. So yeah, we'll use that as a guideline, but basically draw something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it on the, where are we? Where is the center plane? I'll find it here. We'll draw it on the center plane and then just extrude it out. So some of it's going to be inside the float, but that won't really matter. We can get rid of that bit afterwards. And yeah, so here's a sketch that I've created, and let's edit the sketch and let's have a look at it properly. That's the wrong side really. Zoom in a bit. So yeah, as you can see, this is the grey line underneath, if you can just about see that, is our original rough draft, and this black line here is the new sketch. So basically I followed it fairly similarly. Certainly this beast that's underwater is pretty similar. I've just sloped the back in line with the now sort of back of the float, if you like. I've rounded the front, and I've just made this a little bit smoother, the transition or the angle entering the water. The nice smooth round bit here, once I'm done and dusted with this, I will cut that off and make it square, because, well, this is going to be made out of 3mm ply, and we're not going to be able to get a radius like that. So I'll do the front square in ply and then just make a rounded piece out of something else to stick on the front, just to make it look better. It really performs no function because it's out of the water. And I guess aerodynamics really doesn't come into play much here, but just so that it looks a bit nicer, I'll make something semicircular out of something else. So that will do. Yeah, that's fine. If we now turn off that background sketch, because you don't need that anymore, and let's turn this back onto the normal shaded with edges. Select this, and we should have somewhere, where are we? I need a plane, right? So we got the boat horizontal plane here. If I show that from the top, that is basically the center line of the whole hull, and that is the line at which we're going to extrude this new sketch up to, so that we can use this plane here just to mirror both parts to the other side. Right, so let's select the sketch, let's extrude it, and we'll extrude it up to a surface, and let's select that plane, and let's not merge it, let's keep them as separate bodies, and go. And there we are. So let's turn off that plane, and let's turn off that sketch. Yeah, so there we go. That's kind of half of our hull done, and the other half is a simple mirroring exercise. What I'm going to do though, because if we have a look at this, let's turn the this back into a wireframe, you can see that we've got some extra stuff down the middle here. And let's use the intersect tool to select, yes, that body, Add that body and intersect, and you can see that it's come up with 3 regions. So if we click on it, that's the center hole bit we want, that's the float bit that we want, and that's the sort of overlap bit that we don't want. Now I don't want to merge results because I want to end up with these 3 as bodies, so let's go ahead with that. And we've now got these 3 bodies, so let's turn off that one, and well, yeah, that one. And we've got this little bit here that sits inside there, which we don't want. Now we can't really delete it because it's now merged with part of this and it'll leave a hole in the side. So what we'll do is we'll just select those 2 and combine them, and an add, select the 2 bodies like so. Okay. So now the float is back as one single solid body. There it is. We've got some sketches on here that I don't really want. Where are they? Anyway, we'll ignore that for a second. And then we've got another body here. And actually, if I turn off the float, you can see that we now have, and those sketches really are annoying. Why are they showing up? Well, let's have a little look why those sketches were showing up, because that was really annoying. And I have no idea why it suddenly decided to turn on a load of sketches. I found them and I turned them off because now we can see a bit better. So there is half of the center hull. So if I put the float back on, and now we're kind of in a position to mirror it. So let's go for a mirror. We are going to mirror down the center hull, no, boat horizontal midplane, and we are going to mirror some bodies. So let's select the 2 bodies, that one and that one. No, we don't want to merge anything. Yeah, that's all fine. There we go. Oh, look, it's a boat. And that pretty much really is what the boat's going to look like, all being well, if I can cobble this together out of plywood. Like I said, this nice rounded bit at the front here, I'll chop off, I'll make it square and then just add it in later with some other material that can be, yeah, nicely radiused like that. But essentially what we've got there is our hull.